And the quirkier side of life. The Todd Starnes Commentary.
Random gangs of teenagers are on the prowl across the nation. These young savages are engaged in a dangerous game called Knockout. Here's how it works. Unsuspecting pedestrians are targeted and sucker punched. The teenagers tell police they attack people for the fun of it. At least 2 people have been killed. New York City police are investigating a number of knockouts in Jewish neighborhoods. A teenage girl was punched by thugs on bicycles in Washington, D.C. And in Denver, a teacher was knocked out in a brutal attack. American streets have been turned into jungles. Predators lurk in the darkness, ready to pounce on unsuspecting prey. Do not be unsuspecting prey. If you see a group of teenagers approaching, cross the street. Or better yet, apply for a concealed carry permit. It just might save your life. I'm Todd Starnes.
Thank you, Todd Starnes. Appreciate your updates. Remember when you heard about the knockout game through Jim Hoff, the Gateway pundit, who was bringing that story straight out of the Gateway to the West, St. Louis, in a story. We covered that about 3 years ago, an awful event, but these things have been ongoing. They're becoming more frequent, and obviously steps need to be taken for people to protect themselves as well as for the problem to be addressed. That said, welcome back. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, proudly on, say it with me now, AFR Talk. Please go to the Facebook page. Wow. Please go to the Facebook page and like the page. We can get up to 5,000 likes tonight. You could be number 5,000. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I think you'd like that. It'd be a lot of fun. Plus, you're going to get clips of the show and some links, and you'll enjoy it. And go back and forth and tell me if you like the show, don't like the show. You can say it. Just don't use words that you can't use on. Well, I think there's just use your discretion. Be appropriate. Be family friendly. So, Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. We just talked about Matt Damon. And we talked before about Nancy Pelosi. And you're like, Crane, what are you doing to me, man? I got Pelosi, I got Damon. The point with Damon made a comment about public schools and his stance on public schools and ripping former Governor Bush of Florida regarding public schools, making the comment that I doubt Bush has ever stepped forward and into a public school. And Jake Tapper, who I think is one of the better reporters out there, truly, challenged him on this in kind of a friendly way because he's doing an entertainment interview back and forth. And he called him out on the hypocrisy of his position regarding public schools. Matt Damon made the comment about how he wants the public schools to be as good as the private schools. And my point there was people want the same things. But then he went on to say the Bush has never stepped foot in a public school. And then you saw Tapper say, well, you'd be wrong about that. And the team that I'm on includes Jeremy. And Jeremy, in the break, said, you remember 9/11 when Bush was reading to the kids. And he was widely criticized for that after the response time and not jumping up and putting on a Superman outfit. Obviously, there's many ways to go with that criticism, and anytime I hear that criticism or any form of it, I find it to be utterly asinine. That said, what a wonderful point Jeremy was making because he got punished. He was criticized for his time in the public school, also with No Child Left Behind, and then he gets criticized and said that, Bush has never been in a public school. Bush isn't. Take away from this, by the way, thank you very much, Jeremy, for that, because that was an excellent point, and it also points out something in the way we communicate these ideas. Now, I know you probably think I'm getting all touchy-feely here, Crane. God knows you, God loves you, he created you, and you're worth it. Yeah, that's true, and I'll say that at every show, and I believe it, and I say it pointing up and not pointing at you or down, but just as a sinner who's fallen and received his grace. Thank you, Jesus. I'm saying these things because I want you to get to a place, and I hope you can get to a place to recognize that when Matt Damon makes a comment like he made, he exposes the fact that, number one, He believes that he has the right solution and the public school is the right solution, but he sends his kids to private schools, but he wants to help the kids in the public school. There's a genuine desire for those kids to be helped, okay? He wants to help. That's my point. He wants to help. But they view the people they disagree with as the enemy, as Satan, as horns on, ooh. Okay? And when you do that, you're never going to have a conversation. You're never going to. Now, they may be, okay? They may be representing something that is so heinous, that is so awful. But when you have a debate, you can speak to people maybe who are not so far over in one way. The other thing is it takes the intensity off the person and makes it toward the point that you're making so you can be salt and light, so you can speak truth and love. And I know you know this, but I'm saying this for me too. Because I get caught up and I'm like, what, Damon? What a ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And then I have to say, Lord, I'm sorry for using those words. So it takes me off the focus. No, I'm going to address the issue. You want to help? I want to help. Let's help. Let's have the dialogue. Let's get it done. And to present the ideas like that, people will focus more on what you say toward the policy. Because some of you are organizing tea parties, organizing groups that get involved locally and nationally, for that matter, and are starting groups for causes and defending life. Might be marriage. It might be economic liberty. Might be just liberty in general. But it's important. Communication is a part of this. Again, if you're a conservative, if you're a Christian, if you're both, you're going to have a real challenge because everybody is going to basically look at you oftentimes. Those who disagree with you on the left are going to have this Matt Damon viewpoint. And I see this also with Oprah Winfrey. Think about this. Oprah Winfrey, BBC, makes this comment about President Obama, the office of the presidency, and how it's been disrespected. And I jumped ahead, didn't I? You betcha I did. I went, no, I got it. Roll it.
Oprah Winfrey has been a prominent supporter of Barack Obama. She thinks that both he and the office of president have been treated with contempt because of the colour of his skin.
There's a level of disrespect for the office that occurs, and that occurs in some cases and maybe even many cases because he's African American. There's no question about that, and it's the kind of thing that nobody ever says, but everybody's thinking it.
Now, they say it all the time on MSNBC and Chris Matthews, and they've done this, and we've done the race thing. But why would Oprah make this comment? Why would she make such an irresponsible comment? Why would she choose to see something that is not there? And if it's there, it's not even measurable in a sense of a percentage. Because it would go along with what she is saying because of the color of his skin that he's being rejected. She's saying that's the opposition. That's the reason people are disrespecting, quote, the office and disrespecting him. And I got to tell you, the reason you have the KKK, the Westboro Baptist Church, and the Black Panthers, they're all able to get up on the Jerry Springer stage because they are looked at as absolutely so far out of the sane, common sense world we live in that when you use that smear, in fact, because when you use the smear of, in essence, trying to smear them with the moron all-star team brush, and this applies to marriage with the Southern Poverty Law Center, a whole host of things that, as we believe in marriage between a man and a woman, and that has become, again, the smear tactics. But what is behind Oprah's comment? What's behind the comment is if she doesn't say that, what does she have to recognize? She has to recognize the president has been a complete and total failure. That a person she went out and had promise for, that endorsed this man, failed. That the policies that this person put forth of the left have failed and have been disasters. But she can't do that. She can't point to a number. She can't say, hey, look what we're doing here. Look at it, because it's not working. Stock market 16,000, Crane. Yes. Two things there. One, there, as Obamacare gets squashed, you're going to see the market go up in that way, but it's not reflective of where investment's going. Oftentimes it's for defensive investments, but I'll let the people, great folks like Dan the Mancilia, handle the ins and outs on the economic analysis with financial issues. And I'll let him do it because he's great at it, by the way. What we do see is a person who cannot defend a record, so they have to go out and attack and smear, and it's ridiculous. It's just plain silly. I think this would upset people of color more, this statement. I think it hurts people of color more. And why do I say that? Because if somebody is going to the fact of taking accountability off what one does and accuses somebody of racism for the viewpoint they hold that is based on substance of a failed agenda or an agenda ideologically that you oppose, what happens when somebody truly is part of the all-star moron team, but they're just not an official member? What happens when it really happens? All Americans, black, white, are sitting there going, well, it's probably this. It diminishes the charge. It hurts us all. It hurts our nation. And so as she's grasping it, and she's saying this about the American people, that makes me sick. But she has a right to say it. I understand why she's saying it. It really shows you how much she cares about this president being unwilling to face the facts. And I think it will be widely rejected. I hope it is. I hope it's exposed for what it is. But this goes back to a theme that we've had in the show from day one, which is accountability, accountability, accountability. What? Accountability, when you hold people to account. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter whatever it is. If there's an incentive to do less and get more, if there's an incentive to not, or excuse me, if there's a time where you can say, not my fault, when it is your fault, human nature, our fault, and we're going to take that. I'm going to take it. Saturday morning, give you an example. Catherine, she's out till midnight. Yeah, she was watching my son's hockey game, and she was daughter, the kids, and so we had a dinner for the kids Friday night, and she took care of everything. I had to fill in for my good friend Randy Tober on the St. Louis station, and she took care of it, cleaned the place up. It was great. Saturday morning, I wake up earlier than usual, which is about this time, about a half hour earlier, about 4:30. And I'm looking for my stuff. I don't want to wake her. I'm trying to get around. And I can't find my black bag that I have all my research in. And I'm looking around, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe that she misplaced it. I'm blaming her right away. Understand, I go downstairs, and there is a complete setup of my coffee ready for me. She has packed me up. She has taken care of me. I didn't even wake up. I didn't even wake up when she came in. So I got a pretty good night's sleep. Plus, she went, took the kids, got the dinner ready. It was incredible. And here I am, first person. Oh, I can't believe that. I mean, how inconsiderate. And how do you think I felt when I looked down and right outside the door of our bedroom is my bag, ready to go. Now, I could have gotten up earlier. I could have done this last night and packed it up myself. I didn't. First person, I can't believe that. And I was like, what in me could possibly react this way to someone who has done all this for me, has been so just great to me when I have been a pill at times, especially during last week. And here I am, first thing that goes wrong, I'm blaming her. And I confess, I didn't feel good about myself, but it was the immediate knee-jerk reaction because it was on me. It was my responsibility, and I couldn't, and I know you think, no big deal, all that. I get that. Yes. My point is, this is what Oprah's doing. She doesn't want President Obama to be responsible for his policies. She doesn't want to measure him as a man that she advocated for, policies she believes in that are failing. No, she's got to have the narrative that something is wrong, something is sinister with the American people to not support her president enough and our president enough. That's what's going on. And it's simplistic, but it's true. And she should be called out for it. Because it's insulting. It's a tremendous smear. But we're going to see a lot more of it. Because we've got an entire, in essence, political party that has to run on absolute failure. And that doesn't make make the Republicans, they're the measure each and every candidate by the substance of where they are and what they've done and what they promote, what they advocate for. But remember, this is going to get far worse, and the attacks are going to get more and more bizarre. And the mainstream media isn't going to be able to do the smoke and mirrors treatment. It's done. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, AFR Talk.